Okay, guys. I love dandelions. I love all the things that kind of grow natural. Clay, got you some water. All right, he's starting the bucket system. Well, you kind of already did start, but
I started yesterday, but the other day it started to rain, so we really couldn't get much done.
and he has to keep stopping for things. Today I have a dental appointment.
Well, I got quite a bit of it done here. I just gotta get the. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm mixing the soil and filling the bottoms of the buckets with the wet potting soil. Now I can fill the buckets with what I got mixed and keep right on going. I've already got 2 rows. I'm working on the 3rd one now. This will be done today, this up here, except for maybe the planting, and I might be able to do that when I get back from my dental appointment. So
we
feel
both
up to it.
we both have dentist appointments today. Would you like some water? You've been out here for a while.
Yes, just give me a second to fill this bucket.
Okay.
I don't pack it down hard, just lightly, so I know I got enough soil in the bucket. And I take any weed that's on the top, which when I'm screening, the weeds pretty much come right out of it. So I'll just set it in the next one in a row and grab my next bucket down. Pull most of the weeds out by hand. And then I turn the bucket upside down over here in this wheelbarrow and chop it all up. And the chickens are going to get all the weeds because they keep waiting for them to come
Oops.
to the door.
I just smacked myself in the butt with that hoe.
Trying to get things where I'm not tripping over them. Right, what weeds I don't get out by hand will come out in the screen, and I can pick them up and I just dump it upside down. Everything comes right out, nice and clean. Then I have 3 little blocks of wood in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole, 3 holes, and put the screws in these so I don't have to keep moving them. I'm going to upgrade each season. This goes here, and because of the blocks, keep the neti cup from getting crushed. I set that right down in there. Put my mud in the neti cup and fill her up with dirt. I shovel from here into this screen, which I have to make a framework for this season, so that next year's not so hard. Each season I upgrade a little more and more, so that I'm thinking of getting a cement mixer. So instead of mixing it in the wheelbarrow, I can just throw it in the cement mixer, let it mix, and then dump it into the wheelbarrow and put it in my buckets, which will save me hours. Okay, back to the old drawing board.
I figured we'd have soup and sandwiches for lunch. Do you want to eat about 11 o'clock?
Yeah, I'm going to be done with this by noon anyways.
Well, 11 o'clock is an hour, and you still have to, you know.
I got enough dirt in here for another bucket, so
Okay.
we'll take the mud in this bucket. Nice little shovel full. Dump it down into the neti cup. And the excess goes back in there. Use a block. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a block of wood and put a handle on it so I can use it as a tamper. And tamp it right in. See how I just tamp that into that bucket? The simpler you make it for yourself, the faster you'll get a garden with less work. Now I'm only going to have to weed this garden maybe twice this season. So if there's any weed seeds in this soil, from being up at the compost area, they'll be on the top. Each wheelbarrow gets me about 3 buckets of dirt. That's 1 shovel of the compost, 1 shovel of the peat moss, and about 4 shovels of the recycled. Those are buckets from last season. And you'll see this, when I chop this one of these, you'll see how dark that soil is. See how nice and dark that soil is? And there's a little bit of roots in there, and the roots all get sifted out when you put it in the screen and put it over here. And then what's left in the screen, the chunks of wood or whatever from your compost, I throw in a bucket. I could either put it back in the compost and let it keep going until next season to make even nicer, darker soil. But what I do is I let the chickens pick through it because there's worms and bugs and old roots and things that they just love to dig and eat. How much simpler of a garden is that? Then all you have to do is mow around your things with a little push mower. Or what I do is I put tarpaulins down. It keeps the weeds down and you don't have to worry about it. This goes back up here. The screen goes back in the wheelbarrow. This is for mixing. What I do is I put 2 shovels of this stuff right into the screen. Got some lumps in it. 2 of those right in there. You can chop it up when you get it in there. There's some roots, some weeds. Just shake the weeds out of there. And any weeds you see, you just pick them out and shake them up. Recycle them to the chickens. Knock any lumps apart. Just like panning for gold. You'll see the lumps, the little bits of moss, the weeds. Goes right into a bucket over here for the birds. When the bucket gets full, I go dump it to the birds. And that's got everything that they want to play in. And there's 2 of those to the bottom of the bucket. A good shovel of the peat. Now I don't worry too much about the peat. Unless it's old stuff and get lumps. If there's any little lumps in there, I can go back in because that'll break down into soil for next season. Now I got a couple of shovels full of the sawdust and stuff manure that came out of the barn. Check the shovel. This got a little wet. And this also has grass clumps in it. And anything that doesn't get gets thrown to the chicks again.
It rained a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
That's why it got wet.
That's just a wet clump. That'll go right to the chickens. They can dig through it. Some grass and weeds. Most of this is sawdust and maybe a little manure. All lumps, clumps. these in there and make room for a couple of more buckets. Up a little bit. Chaps and up into the screen. Now this is all out of those Walmart bags with the corn in them and the buckets. That's all that's in this wheelbarrow. I have compost in the wagon, and I have the bag of peat moss down here, so I can keep track of what I'm putting in my mixer. If you go a little bit more, don't worry about it. All works out. Two nice shovels in there. Also makes room for more dirt from the buckets.
Clay, will you build another bucket system this year from scratch?
You know, I'm really thinking about it.
I'd like you to.
Got some lumps, and I take the hoe and just kind of chop up a little bit in the screen. You can see the roots are staying in the screen, and I'm recycling that nice black soil. Now you also, I leave the soil in the buckets throughout the winter. What I'll do is I'll take them up off the trough and lay them on their side. That way it dries them out. They also compost themselves inside the bucket throughout the winter. And I turn my troughs upside down so no water freezes them and breaks my trough. In the spring, I turn my troughs back up, level them up, and start just knocking the... Well, I showed you how I knocked the soil out of the bucket. This is all... You can either, you know, if you got a lot of weeds, pull them out, and you just go like that, and it all comes out in one big lump. Nice, clean. Reuse the buckets. Don't have to wash them because they're only going to be dirty again. And just keep on going. Now I've been at this since maybe about 8:30 this morning.
It's not even 10.
It's not even 10 o'clock yet.
And he's got...
And I've already got... I'm working on my third row. So it's... And there you go. See all that? That's all roots.
And
Clumps of dirt and sticks.
And all summer long, you don't have to really weed, just a few weeds. It's waist level, and it's all good fresh dirt. And it takes, what, maybe a morning or two, for one, depending on how many you have.
Well,
I mean,
it's going to take you a couple of seasons to
well,
get...
They'll love it so much they'll want to do more and more. That's you'll say, oh, why am I gardening any other way? But
the trough is nothing but a rain gutter with a 2x4 on each side screwed in, and there's from here to here 7 or 7.5. I can't remember right now, but I cut three little boards screwed on each side of the 2x4, one on each end and one in the middle to hold the 2x4s nice and straight.
And they're up on cinder blocks.
And you can either glue the caps on, and I like to have them up on a cinder block because once, as you can see the height of the buckets. Let's go to the clean ones and you see what I'm talking about. That's to my waist. You don't get rabbits eating your garden off. You don't get cutworms that cut your plants down when you first start them up. And the beauty of it is when you get ready to, when the weed seeds start to come up around your plants, you can just walk over and pick them out and go right down through. You can weed your whole row of tomatoes in like 10 minutes. Then you can go have a cup of coffee, or for some of you guys out there that drink beer, you can have a beer. I set a chair right here, and I get on my row sitting in a chair weeding. I don't have to stand there and bend my back and hoeing and all that for weeding. All I do is just set a chair down here and
And if
pick the weeds out of it, and you do it maybe a week or 2 weeks after you plant your tomatoes, and then you may have to weed one more time towards July or August, and then you don't have to weed anymore. Twice. Weeding twice.
Plus the
That's
buckets.
ideal garden.
Buckets are free.
You can get buckets free. The soil, if you...
Well, tell them where to get the buckets first.
Well, you can get any place that does bakery goods, because you want food grade buckets. These had pastry icing in there. So you go to your local bakery or any stores that that'll help you, that have their own bakeries in the store. Sometimes they'll give you their buckets. Then all you have to do is buy your neti cups. You could buy a 3-inch neti cup, or you can buy a 2-inch.
Well, tell them where to buy the neti cups.
The neti cups you can get online at eBay. Or you can get them at a hydroponic store where they do hydroponic gardening. You can buy them there. They're not all that expensive. You buy yourself a hole saw, drill your hole in the bottom of the bucket, put your neti cup in, and just fill the neti cup. What I did, I drilled a hole on the lip of the neti cup and in the bucket, and I took a tie wrap, or trying to think what they anything, piece of wire or anything to hold it from falling out. Then you fill your neti cup with wet potting soil, and once you put the potting soil in, you pack it down like a mud pie, and then you can put your soil in. You can get soil from a garden center, you can get soil from Walmart. You don't have to start out with your own composting soil. You can put any soil in there you want, but make sure the soil that goes in the neti cup is potting soil. And the next season, rake up your leaves in the fall, throw them in it, start doing your own composting. Orange peels, all that. Make yourself a little composter. And you add a shovel of that with some soil, and this is my 3rd season, and I have not bought any soil at all. This is all soil that, the first season I bought probably 10 bags of soil and 2 bags of the peat moss and 2 bags of potting soil. The first season I did. But last season I bought 2 bags of potting soil and 2 bags of peat moss, and I recycled the dirt out of the buckets. I didn't go buy any more from Walmart. So the first season it's going to be a little bit expensive, but it's not expensive if you're only going to try one trough. And you can put this trough back side of your house.
We have one on the front.
We've got 2 of them in the front, and I've got 4 of them back here, and it seems like you never have enough garden. So I'm thinking of getting another 3, building another 3 troughs and putting them down next to the greenhouse. So we'll see what's going on. Right now I've got 6 troughs, and I'd love to expand. The farm kind of slows me up for getting a lot of things done, but now that I've got them, I don't have to keep rebuilding them every year. I don't have to keep drilling the buckets out. I don't have to go look for buckets. I don't have to. And as your buckets start to, some of them are really tough plastic. Other ones are get a little brittle. So if you
get extra,
get your buckets. Keep your buckets downstairs in the basement or whatever, and as they break, just replace them. I mean, it's not a tough gardening. It's really nice and really easy. So hopefully I helped you out a little bit by giving you some insight on how to do your bucket system.
Well, we love it. We just
I would never, and you're not buying gas for a rototiller. You're not breaking your back hoeing and raking and weeding every weekend. My weekends can consist of having a cup of coffee out here with Ruthie and watching chickens in a chair on a good day, instead of being out here busting my back trying to weed tomatoes. I can, if I want to go get a tomato, I just walk out to a bucket and get myself a tomato. This is going to go in the...
I'm going to go inside.
Barrel.
It's
Yep.
cold.
I'm going to weed this and keep on going. I've almost got my 3rd row done.
Stay tuned in, guys. We're doing a lot right now. Clay's on vacation, and there'll be lots of, 1 more week left, but we always have videos, but there'll be lots of stuff, so stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless.
Bye-bye.